All right, welcome back to another exciting episode of Rivals on the Pitch. We are 1 week closer to the start of the season, 1 week away from the almighty Super Cup. You guys wouldn't know about that because you guys aren't in it. But I hope you guys enjoyed last week. I think that was one of my favorite episodes to do. But we also got another exciting episode today. We'll be covering we actually got a question we want to cover from last week. We'll do some transfer talk, a little bit that's left. And then we'll introduce some hot takes and see what you guys think.
Caliente.
All right. Well, I'm Alan.
I'm Randy.
And I'm Pat.
Let's get right into it.
Yeah. How are you guys feeling? There's been a lot of friendlies. And how are you guys teams shaping up? How do you feel? How do you like what you're seeing?
Shaping up is a good word. It's appropriate because we have shape. We're not just out there.
Okay.
We're not just out there attacking, it feels like there's a little bit more, not cohesion, but there's more of a system. You can see it,
So you see there's more than one option besides like Ange, where it was just Ange ball. Now you see that there's a little more depth. There's a plan B with Frank.
Do you really want any other options? So that's why we call the Hotspurs. We attack.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. And that got you 22 losses.
And that also got us a European trophy. So is that on the bingo card? Drink.
We'll get to that eventually.
What about Liverpool?
For me, I was watching the two Bilbao games. It's quite interesting. I'm actually very hopeful. I know one of the questions was about, Liverpool and their transfers, and seeing it. We did get to see a little preview of what the starting 11 would be in the new formation, and I'm actually quite excited. It's looking promising, honestly. I know when you have a lot of new buys, it might, bump heads a little bit, but so far it's looking promising, and I'm excited for what this season holds.
Who'd you guys play in the preseason?
We went to Japan to play, and then we also we played Milan, what's it called, AC Milan, and recently we just played Atletico Bilbao. 2 games. Was a doubleheader, at Anfield.
Gotcha.
Yeah, for Arsenal, we had the South Korean derby. I don't think anyone.
How'd that go?
Well, South Korea, so we made it out alive, luckily. No, I mean, it was a fun game to watch. I feel like it was kind of scrappy. Like Alan said, we're kind of getting into everyone getting back into fitness.
That was Hong Kong.
Oh, okay, all right, my bad. Just seemed like everyone was getting into fitness. I was probably more impressed by Tottenham. Like Alan said, it seems like they have more cohesion.
Clip it where it makes sounds better. Who's gonna win the league? Tottenham.
Listen, I like football, so I'll be honest. They look good, and I think honestly they have to, right? They have the Super Cup coming up. I think with the new coach, you want to try to instill. It's not time to mess around. I think Thomas Frank wants to instill his ideology, and it was very clear that there's an idea there that the players are sticking to. So it was fun to watch. Yeah.
It didn't have that derby feel to it, like you said. It felt like nobody wanted to get injured.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, that's what happened. The following week when we played Newcastle. But that's what you're trying to avoid, and you could tell that's what it had a little bit of the scrappiness, but not what you would see during a regular season.
Not that intensity.
Yeah, and I don't think it's because it was
a real game.
I don't think it was because it was in Hong Kong or anywhere. I think it was just the fact that it was preseason. I think if this is a regular match, then you would have seen that intensity.
It's just like trying to get match game fit in a sense. Just see, let's see if we can do 40 minutes. 45 minutes. Let's see how we feel in a way. Getting ready for those 90-minute games.
But I will say, Arsenal did also play Newcastle, and they were just as physical as they always are.
That's Newcastle.
That's just how they are, but I didn't expect them to go so hard. I was nervous there. I'm not surprised that anyone did suffer an injury in the Tottenham-Newcastle game.
And then Bruno Guimaraes was choking out. He got into it with Romero, and I was like, dang. Like, relax. We're gonna play here in a few weeks. Like,
yeah,
just
You know what?
Give
We
it a
should
break.
make a hot heads starting 11. Guimaraes,
Oh yeah.
Bruno Fernandes,
Cunha.
Cunha.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
Oh man, for sure.
That would
That's
be a
gonna be
good one.
fun. That would be a good one.
Yeah. But yeah, interesting to see. I'm getting already very impatient to see the
Like, how many
actual.
days left, right?
I
How
know.
many days?
It's about 11 now.
Yeah, I think it's 11.
It's getting close. By the time this episode gets out, it will be what, 9? So
Yeah.
it's just like it's getting there.
I'll post the Brian Gill 11 jersey.
Someone take
No,
the
do the
Instagram account away
Salah
from
jersey.
Nah, someone
There
more
you go.
important. Someone more relevant.
Wow. What's more important than winning the Premier League and every other trophy?
Winning it or buying it?
Oh,
This was before. We won it before with Klopp, and he didn't have that money. So there you go. Do fact checks. Look a little back. Look a
Oh,
little
you
back.
guys
Oh, you
got-
don't want to go look a little back because last
Asterisk
time
COVID.
it was
Van
COVID.
Dijk was
Oh.
he was a academy product from Liverpool. Don't you remember?
Oh yeah, that's right. He was a
Oh,
record
yeah.
selling or record fee academy player.
But yeah, so
Well,
yeah, Alan was saying we did get some feedback from some of our listeners.
Ooh, that's nice engagement.
So last week we talked about our clubs and how we came about him, and then we did have a comment that I kind of think it's cool to discuss, kind of our thoughts. Maybe we might have our thoughts aligned, but let me just read it out loud real quick. So the question was, how would someone that wants to root for a Premier League club, lost touch a long time ago, go about selecting a team to follow? Do you have to automatically root for one of the top big six, or a small team who at times does not have the finances to compete against the bigger clubs? I feel that sound loud.
You know what? What I love, and if I may start,
Yeah.
what I love about the Premier League is that there's a battle everywhere on the table, right?
Yeah.
Not only are you having title contenders, which typically is 3 teams, eventually goes down to 2. You have about 6 or 7 teams trying to get into the top 4. Then you have about 10 teams trying to get into Europe, into the top 6, top 7. And then on the bottom half, you have teams who typically might do well and then they struggle. And of course, the relegation, I would include probably the bottom 6. They kind of like switch seats. So even if you're rooting for a team that's not necessarily a title challenging team, you could be like at the edge of European competitions to play with the best, or possibly falling down a tier. And at the same time, I mean, how many documentaries have we seen about teams that go down, they get demoted and then try to come back up? There's a sort of a charm that lower teams have that come back up to the Premier League. And aside from that, there's so many historic teams that have been in the second, third divisions for so long, and then they come back.
Sorry to cut you off, but that's like Sunderland right there. You just described them. Sunderland until I die, relegated to the other lower leagues, and now look at them right now. This season, they're back in the Premier League.
And think about like Leeds, who just came back up. Nottingham Forest is a rather new team back to the Premier League, but they very only recently came up. So there's glory even at the bottom of the table. There's fight. There's always last minute things. So I think you're going to get excitement whichever team you root for. So I don't think you necessarily have to choose the big money spender Liverpool. You know what I mean? That just buys a league.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just because you have a big
you can
checkbook.
just follow someone up because they're on the cover of FIFA, a video game. That's fine. That works too.
So some of the variables I was kind of thinking about, right, when thinking about this question is like, okay, like what's important for you? You know, you can always break it down like that. Do you want to be in big competitions? Do you want to be in? Does it matter if you're in Champions League? Does it matter if you're Europa or Conference, or if you're at any of these European competitions? You know, like you said, does it matter where you fall on the table? Do you like big signings? Do you like that small, passionate club where it's, you know, are you okay with losing your best players every year? You know, like the Brentfords and the Brightons, you know, who are these really well built clubs that are, you know, thrive off of recruitment and selling players. You know, tactics are always there. They maintain their fundamentals. Like that's an attractive feature, you know, or like City, where it's you're glory hunting. And then I don't have, if you ever become a City fan, it's easy to become a City fan, and as much as I joke about it, like it's finally, that's it's because at the end of the day, they do play exciting football. They have players that they sign, and they're fun to watch week in, week out. So why not? What else? You mentioned history. That's another thing. Forest whatever. Don't go for Forest. Forest is trash.
Oh, wow.
They got a felon over there leading it.
Salty.
Yeah.
Alan escaped the prison, so he's no longer held hostage, so he can say whatever he wants.
Burn that Forest. I can't believe I stood up for them.
Wow. I said that last time and they got, bleeped. It got cut out of the episode.
But like Leeds, even Aston Villa and Newcastle were they were relegated not too long ago, within the Premier League era. And, they've come up, and look at them. They're fighting to be, top 6 clubs. And then, but at the end of the day, you either have that one player you follow and you say, you know what, this club means a lot to you, that now, you mean a lot to me. So now this club means a lot to me. You make the little connection, or it's just what feels right. It's that gut feeling that you get, because you might follow a team and you're like, you know what, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel like the team I want to follow. And then you just keep watching, and then you're like, you know what, this team feels right. Like this team I want to watch, regardless of what the score line is. Next week, I'm here to watch this team. So
yeah,
I just think it's not a decision you could just make in one day. I think it takes a while of just watching, kind of seeing things, style of play. Do you like counterattacking? Do you like the all out attacking defensive teams? It all depends.
For my point of view, it's just like I always root for the home team. So it's New Jersey, New York. I try to look at that history and try to find a soccer team that's somewhat like that. New York Giants were not the best. The New York Metro Stars / Red Bulls now, we're always like an underdog. We're always so close. So I try to find that in a team, in a sense, so it's, maybe that's a way for you to lead it, to pick a team in a way. Red Bulls are red. So there you go.
Underdog.
We have been an underdog, man.
We're
just because now we're spending money. Now that erases everything that we've done in the past. No,
I think you need to remember you were in the struggle bus too. Sometimes, so
I know
but they were in the struggle bus,
and that's the thing about it. It's just like when you pick a team, it's not like you just hop off the next station.
Yeah.
It's always a ride.
It's like a ride or die. Like Alan and I were Giants fans. We've had horrible seasons, and guess what? We're still there for them. They had their highs, but they have more lows. But that's the thing about being a soccer fan. You gotta, when things get rough, you gotta stay. You don't want to be that fan who just jumps onto the next team that's like the bandwagon, who's just doing as well. You gotta stick with that team. It's like for life.
It's like a marriage.
Yes, it's like that kid. You can't get them away. You gotta raise them.
Sometimes it just comes to you when you know. If you watch a team, maybe it's part of history. The first game you turned on, you happen to watch, or you follow a player. But I've heard sometimes people just want to be a little contrarian, and they root for the team
that everyone else is rooting for.
They choose the team that they hate, right? And then they choose to root for the other team. So let's say, there's all this talk about... So it's like
a backwards process.
Yeah, so they're like, they hate Manchester City and what, just an example, imagine they hate the way that they kind of come up to the status of where they are now. So they're like, oh, you know what, no, I'm going to root United, all the way kind of thing. But yeah, I think it's really going to depend. But I think either way in the Premier League, you're going to get excitement wherever you are on the table. So choose wisely.
Like I had mentioned last week.
Once you choose, immerse yourself in it. Do the history, listen to the chants, learn about the stadium, about the people, the community. It's just get into it, lose yourself in it.
Yeah, you'll be surprised. Like I like with how Pat was mentioning with the Crystal Palace and the Ultras, there's a lot of history in all of these clubs. But last week I had mentioned that, I would remember, I never really called myself a Newcastle fan, but I remember watching them the most. I feel like everything was pointing for me to become a Newcastle supporter. But for some reason, it just never, there was never this like gut feeling to follow them, you know? Like it was never, it was like, oh, I'm just going to pick this team. You know, I've been watching them for this long. This is who I remember playing with. This is whatever. But it just wasn't there. So this is actually the hat I was talking about that I bought in London.
No, you got bullied for.
Yeah. So, but for some reason, I don't know, maybe that was a situation that just made me, you know, spark that connection. Maybe it was a story that I had behind it, you know? Maybe that's why I felt more connected to this club. But it's like Pat was saying, that you can't really go wrong with the Premier League unless you pick Arsenal, then you do for sure. But
yeah. Wow.
I second that. That's true.
It's a majority.
Majority, yeah, 2 out of 3.
But you know, you're bringing up an interesting thing comparing these teams to like other sports teams, like the New York Giants of the Premier League would be the Cowboys of the who are the Cowboys of the Premier League, and then you can make
that's why
cool assumption and
using that transition in a way to pick your team.
Cowboys
using those
are
factors.
United to me.
No, because United actually has won something in a way. I mean, everyone has their different opinion of the Cowboys and everything, but
the Cowboys
why would you say that?
The Cowboys have one of the most won titles, so it's like, but
they're like America's team. So the Premier League, you can go with Man United because they were the best team, and then we matched them with 20, and then majority wins in Europe, which makes us higher. But whatever, Cowboys are United.
Arsenal are like, which one's the best team?
No,
they're like the
Jacksonville Jaguars. That's what you are, because that's who your owners are.
The Cleveland Browns.
There you go. That's a good one too.
But yeah,
but that's just that's I take, your take, everyone's take, but at the end of the day, hopefully maybe the team will choose you. Maybe you'll just walk by and see a game on the TV, and it just catches your attention, the jersey or the goal or something like that,
the play style.
And after that, it's like that quick. Maybe you can get hooked up.
Yeah, I remember watching Tottenham under Mourinho and Conte. Like, it just wasn't fun because it wasn't who I remember the club being. We were always that front-footed attacking team, and then you move to with Nuno, Espirito Santo, Mourinho, Conte. Like, we went towards the defensive, that counterattack, park the bus, score a goal, and then just defend for 60, 70 minutes, and it wasn't fun at all. Like, it just wasn't what I liked. So now after Ange, it's like, okay, I got my club back, and I was like, this is why I originally started watching the club and seeing that style. It fit me. That's the style I liked. So the club will fit you, and the style will fit, and like you said, it's cliche, but the club does pick you, or it's just that gut feeling. So I think it's that.
Yeah. So good luck finding your club. If that helped in any way, good luck, and hopefully it's not an Arsenal club.
Now let me know when you want to get together. We could watch.
Watch you get in second again?
Or if you like a checkbook club, like City or Liverpool.
Wow. If you're depressed and you want to get more into depression, pick Spurs.
No, see, that's the underdog story, right?
Underdog story.
It just makes those rainy days just make that sunshiny day even better.
Rainy days makes it thunder and lightning. That's what it is. You don't see light. You don't see sun at the end of that tunnel.
You see a rainbow.
Okay. All right. All right. Should we move on to transfers?
Yeah.
All right. So I feel like we have to talk about this because it's been ongoing now. And let me tell you, I am very happy that Arsenal are in the Gyökeres story is done over, and now I get to just watch as an outsider everything going on with Alexander Isak. What is going on there?
Well,
so as I mentioned to you guys, West Ham have now acquired Callum Wilson, who was a previous Newcastle United striker, which leaves now Newcastle short striker, They put in a bid for Sesko, and Manchester United have outbid them. Sesko, as far as I know, hasn't chosen a preferred place to go, so could be anybody's game. But does that mean if United gets Sesko, does that mean that Isak will now stay at Newcastle? And are Liverpool willing to make a second bid for Isak?
Well, let me get into that because we're the one who's bidding. I think the Liverpool will go for a second bid.
Of course, but I think they got all the money in the world.
Yeah, they got the money, and Isak wants to go. But I think that they're waiting for, if Sesko does go to Newcastle, that relieves the pressure because now Newcastle doesn't have to go looking for a striker. They already have his replacement. So I think that's what we're waiting for. We're hoping that Sesko will pick Newcastle over Man U. Even Jurgen Klopp, who's in charge of the Red Bull, who oversees all things Red Bull, has advised Sesko to go to Newcastle instead of Manchester United, which good looking out. But, I think that's what we're waiting for. Because if we do get Isak, there's not that much time left in the window to get a proper replacement. Because at that point, they'll probably be keeping it, and then that doesn't leave the team enough time to find another replacement for the player just sold. So we're just waiting on this Sesko situation finalize. And then we will submit another bid for Isak. We have the money, we have all that stuff, and Isak wants to go. I think that's the only thing that is waiting is that Sesko situation.
I think their next bid is 3 trillion, right? Or gazillion? I forgot how much.
Wow. Okay. We'll see how it goes. Oh, okay, I see how it is.
Gazillion
Don't
or
worry.
something like that?
Gazillion, yeah.
The checkbook is like this big for all the zeros that they could put.
All right, so if you guys are Sesko, obviously Isak wants to leave. It's very public. He's training separately at Real Sociedad, so it's very clear he doesn't want to go back. But if you guys are Sesko, where would you want to go? Would you want to come to... And keep in mind, if he goes to Newcastle United, Isak's probably gone.
Yeah, he'll be the main guy. He'll be the main guy in Man United anyways as well.
Yeah, so which team would you want to be in? Because I think United could be setting up for a comeback back into the top 10. Newcastle didn't do great last top 10. As good as they wanted to last year.
Just wait for our hot takes.
Okay. Good opinion.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to go, so I'm letting him go. I thought he was.
This is hypothetical. You're not actually
that's what I was. So that's my part. That's my take on it. I think if you're Sesko, you look at the transfer window and seeing what's happened. I think seeing United or Man United, you got Cunha, you got Mbeumo. The striker situation is Højlund.
Yeah, Højlund.
So
and Xerxes,
right? So I'm pretty sure you have a good opportunity to excel there, be the starter. But then you look at Newcastle, and you could be essentially taking. He's like, hey, if Isak, if you don't want to be the leader of this team, I'm gonna come in and take your spot, and I'll be the main guy here. We got Champions. It's Champions League, right? They have Champions League.
Yeah, champions.
United don't have anything. So what's the priority? Like, are you willing to risk, going to Newcastle for that 1 year of Champions League, hoping to be back there the next season? Or do you go to Newcastle or United and try to compete to get into Europe the following season? I don't know. It's a tough one. I don't know which one. I just feel like Newcastle.
I would want to go to Newcastle too, but the thing is that I feel like United are pulling Mbeumo, they're pulling Cunha, and Newcastle, it seems like they're getting rejected left and right.
They're having a tough... I thought we were having a tough transfer window, but they are having a tough one too. I think it's even worse for them. I don't know what's so unattractive about... we've talked about this before plenty of times, is what's so unattractive about Newcastle? We talk about history. They're a historic club. They got plenty of players that have come through that club that are, you consider legends. Is it the Newcastle itself? I mean, they're pretty far north. Is it that bad of an area that you don't want to go there? Is it the club itself? It's not like it's being ran all that bad. They're one of the richest clubs in the world. They just don't have access to use that money right yet. they
they're
can, you know.
they're a one club city, so they have no. I mean, there's like derbies, but it's not like crosstown rivals. So that's where they get the big fan base. They do have a fantastic stadium, fantastic fan base. Do you guys think it has anything to do with the coach? I know we brought up a lot about Arteta and like has Arsenal reached the ceiling with Arteta, but what about Eddie Howe? Or have they reached their max potential under him?
I just want to go. If I was Sesko, I would just to finish the question. I would go to Newcastle. I just think they're run better at the moment than Manchester United. They're playing in more I mean, yeah, they're playing more competitions, Champions League, and that's what every player wants to go to, Champions League. Sure. Why wait to get into Champions League and hope to get into Champions League with Manchester United when it's guaranteed at the moment right now with Newcastle, and you can have a better chance of getting it continuously, because we don't know. That Manchester United thing was always a work in progress still, and it still has been, and we still don't know what Ruben Amorim is going to do with this season. I just think you have a better chance at Newcastle, unless you're going for money, when then go to Manchester United.
Yeah,
but I would honestly go with Newcastle.
Yeah. But both teams have to sell too. I mean, United looking to get rid of Garnacho. They're looking to get rid of either, I think Xerxes might be the man out. As far as Newcastle, I don't think they have to sell Isak, but it doesn't seem like anyone's on their way out either. I've heard Gordon has been rumored around a couple different clubs. Yeah. So who knows? It's a weird situation. I did see David Ornstein posted about the whole situation where everything will fall into place eventually, but there's a lot of moving pieces here. I think even Caicedo from Chelsea has been a moving piece in this, because if Sesko goes to United, then Newcastle might be forced to make a move for Caicedo, a player that's Premier League ready. I don't want to say proven. He's Premier League ready. Striker kind of fits the profile. And Chelsea have to offload because they want to have more business before the end of the season. So it's a tricky one here, but like I said, Liverpool have the money. Isak wants to leave. Sesko is bound to end up at one Premier League team. So, want to watch.
Yeah, it is one to watch. And we still got plenty of time still, but it all depends.
But imagine
at the player, though.
A Newcastle with Isak and Sesko and Elanga. I mean, it could be.
That's what you
team.
need for Champions League. You need, and those cup runs. You need depth, and I think that would be great. But I also heard that a lot of the Newcastle players are sort of fed up with this situation with Isak, and some of them want him gone because it's just bad.
I mean,
yeah.
Why would you want it? If someone says, "Hey, I don't want to be here anymore," like just having that energy around the squad, I'm sure it's awkward. I'm sure it's kind of like just bad energy to have. Like, why would you want to have someone there that doesn't want to be there? Just, so I'm sure they look at him a little differently now, especially with the stink that he made with not going to training. I don't know if that was because of that or if that was.
I think he was trying to force his move in a certain way. And then I also saw that, post that they're thinking of there's legal actions you can do, like to terminate your contract in a sense of way. But I mean, whatever, that's just a lot of stuff on the internet. But I mean, he did return to training, but I can somewhat guess that, certain players aren't really happy with the situation that he's there. But, we still have plenty of time to see. We'll see what happens with the Sesko drama, which should be key for,
I think at the end of the day,
for Liverpool.
I think at the end of the day, he's going to go to Man United. And I don't know where I read it.
Sesko?
Yeah. I don't know where I read it, but I think it had mentioned something that he wants United.
No, that's what I've heard, that Amorim, they're thinking that he wants United. They're hoping he wants. That's why they're, but I mean, we don't know what's inside the player's head. Maybe
Randy
the wages.
Is not entertaining that thought. He's like, no, he doesn't actually want to. He doesn't actually want to go there.
No, I mean, that's what we'll see. But I'm watching the preseason. I'm happy with what we got. But
he's like, why don't you just Liverpool? Why don't you just spend the $200 million? Just get Isak. We need players.
Yeah, buy Sesko for Newcastle and buy. But yeah, that's one to watch. I feel like I said, I'm happy to be on the spectator side of this,
yeah,
and just kind of just sitting back and waiting. At least for Liverpool, I know they got rid of Luis Diaz, or he left. So I think they do need something else, but I don't think they desperately need it.
No.
Yeah, I agree. They don't
No.
desperately need
I
it.
think they can hit the ground running with what they have, and they already are.
My boy Darwin Nunez is showing up in preseason, so I'm happy for that. But we'll see what happens.
Talking about depth specifically, I'm not saying they have to buy a starter for another record fee. I'm just saying they, as far as depth, they lost a player. They need to gain that player back. That's it.
This is what's happening around the league. It's you need superstars. Everybody thinks you need superstars at every single position, and that's what's becoming of the league. Which is, I know we praised the league just recently, but it's like
I think City ruined. I think that's Manchester City's doing. How many in a row did they win? 5?
Yeah, I think 5.
And they walked them. I mean, Liverpool hitting record number points in a season, and they still couldn't beat them. Yeah. I mean, so that's the thing is this wasn't always like this.
It wasn't.
I think also people kind of talk about the Neymar transfer to PSG being like the one that kind of broke transfer fees in general. That was a record fee that I think
PSG has a big part in that. The way they were throwing money around.
Yep. And I remember it was a big thing because like they were legally unable for Spain to transfer all that or for Paris to transfer all that money to Barcelona. So I think at that time Neymar had already moved to Paris, so he basically paid for himself up front, and then Barcelona, or Paris paid him the money back or something like that. I forget what the situation was. Like he was in Barcelona, so Paris, he paid for his own fee essentially so that he could force them. But that was a big one too that I think kind of ruined how transfer fees work.
Shame.
That's how it is, man.
Shame on you guys.
Keep up.
Nah. Yeah. We're old fashioned.
But yeah, another one, Palhinha to Tottenham from Bayern.
Oh, Alan's happy he's finally got someone.
Well, Tottenham and Bayern have a really good relationship now.
Apparently, they're our feeder club now. Bayern's here, we're up here,
I was going to say this is a good move. I'm actually very surprised. I don't want to say pleasantly surprised, but I think that the moves that they're making are very good. I think Kudus is a big move for Tottenham. I think after watching him against Arsenal, I think Kudus was their best player.
He's great on the ball.
And Palhinha was an Arsenal target before we signed Declan Rice, but he had already agreed to go to Bayern. So he, gentleman's agreement.
Yeah.
I think he had to wait because they couldn't pull the trigger right away or something like that. And he waited for them. Obviously, it hasn't worked out. So I think Tottenham were getting it for a fantastic player, of Bayern quality that's already played in the Premier League.
Yeah, and his last season, he had like 50% more tackles than anybody else in the league. For me, I was kind of skeptical at first because I was like, why is Bayern getting rid of him? But then I was listening to another podcast, and they're like, well, Bayern they have possession most of the time. They 90% they have 90% possession like almost every match, so they don't need a 6. His certain skill set at that number 6 position, because they're not struggling to get the ball back. They have the ball, so So I was like, okay, so his skill set wasn't needed. Like I see where that's coming from.
So you're saying you're not going to get the possession then? That's why you need him?
No, I mean, get it back? But look at last year. If we were a little bit more defensively structured, we would have won a lot more games. We lost games by one, by a deficit of 1. So imagine that difference maker. If we had that extra defender there, he's going to act like a defender, especially if we're playing 3 in the back. Like, imagine having that 6 there. It fortifies that defense. Or even if we play 2 in the back, and he's playing that 6 position, you feel like it's funny because Thomas Frank's tactics, he could become more defensive, than Ange. But bringing that 6 in, you're bringing a defensive player, but guess what? That's going to alleviate your wing backs, your fullbacks. Now they can kind of move forward and become part of that attack because you have 3 in the back plus a number 6 that's going to be more like a sweeper, the first line of defense before you hit our center back. So I think it's a great signing. It's a loan with an option to buy. Yeah. We do need more on, especially with the injury to Madison, that number 10 position, that number 8, which Gibbs White would have been perfect, which I'm still salty about. But
you're still going to be salty, bro.
He's not even that good. He's like a Timu Solanke.
Okay,
we don't even want him. He's probably too short anyways. He's probably like, what, 5'5"? Short. But yeah, he would have been perfect for what we need, especially with the injury. So now with Madison down, Pelini is a good pickup, but we still need more work this transfer window for sure. It's not enough.
So I know Eze still a lot of talk. Things seem like they're leaning towards Crystal might be keeping him. I know Gahey still.
Grealish, Alan's favorite.
Nah.
Or Conor Gallagher, we saw today as another rumor.
I've heard with Eze, I think it was Ben Jacobs. He did a podcast, I think earlier today. He said Eze could become a possibility again. Oh, there was no. I think that was a rumor. We didn't bid for him like everybody thinks we did. That'd be great though. We could pull that off. That'd be great.
You think you would want to come, Rodrigo? Randy, what do you think?
Why not?
He said two.
I don't think he said that.
What's that?
Yeah, exactly. That's how was the video. What's that? No thanks. Cock on ball? No, thank you.
Trophy? What's that?
Oh, he's at Real Madrid. He knows that. He knows what that is
got it
perfectly.
Bro.
You picked the wrong person.
Right.
But yeah,
ever
I think
since
he was more
Mbappe's
likely
there, they're not
looking
gonna win.
to Liverpool. Honestly, I mean, you guys can throw all the money you want, but
I think he had
his mindset on someone else.
Nobody wants to go to Liverpool. Nobody stays at Liverpool. I don't get. Liverpool thinks they're such a great club. Hey, hot take.
Yeah, you're right. No one stays at Liverpool.
No one stays
win
at
everything,
Liverpool.
They want a new challenge. There you go.
Okay.
Why did Sonny stay 10 years?
Why didn't Luis Diaz stay?
He was held hostage. There you
Suarez,
go.
Why did he stay? I'm telling you, nobody stays at Liverpool. Nobody stays at Liverpool. Just saying.
They'd rather stay there. They win more than they will win at Spurs. Let's just say it there.
And yet nobody wants to stay there. Just saying. Hey,
well, we have players who
Sonny stayed for 10
Real Madrid is looking at us. No, Real Madrid ain't looking at Spurs. They don't want to go to the daycare and pick up a little kid.
Okay.
They want a proven player.
Is Liverpool a Real Madrid feeder club?
Yeah.
Come to think of it now,
because they're small.
Everybody wants to go to Liverpool. Everyone used to want to go to Real Madrid. Now Liverpool is one of the best destinations to go to. Is Spurs sunny this time of year? No, nobody wants to go to Spurs.
All right. Liverpool's their second club in their town.
Based on history, because Everton were there first, but whatever. It's all good. What color is London, by the way?
Blue.
Yeah, Chelsea. That's why. Not because of you.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Wow.
There you go. What position is Spurs in London? There's two in the Merseyside. What's your position in London?
Number 1.
From the bottom, like relegation.
European champs. You never sing that. You never sing that.
Someone won't say
Champions
that.
of Europe.
Say plenty
You
of times.
never sing that.
All right, so now we are going to move on to a portion that's going to get a few people going. So I'm just going to say,
We're already there.
don't punch the screen.
Don't at me.
Yeah, don't at us.
Flip the table.
Hey, if you want to yell at me, yell at me. My name's Randy.
So yeah, we're going to move on to hot takes, and we are going to talk about some controversial statements, opinions, some unpopular opinions that we have seen around. Some of them maybe we agree with. Some of them we might just be bringing forth for the people, to the people. So, who wants to start it off?
I'll say one. I mean, I've already kind of touched on it.
Okay.
I don't know who said this, but
okay.
Liverpool with their new transfers will not play well.
I think I already answered it.
I mean, someone thinks, not me.
You're hoping. You're hoping.
There's going to be
Fingers
too many
crossed.
chefs
That's what you're doing.
in the kitchen. Possibly Arnie Slot might be in over his bald head. I don't know. And getting to a Carabao final might be all they do this season. And to be honest, that's too low. That's not good enough for what they spent. That's a hot take. I didn't say it, but I said it for someone.
Okay, whatever. That's his hot take because he's a hater.
Honestly,
Like
I
what?
do believe Liverpool aren't going to be running to first place the way people think they are.
Well,
I
wait
don't
till we
think
get
they
to
will.
predictions.
I don't think they will the way they did this past season.
Yeah.
No, it won't be like this past season. It won't be that big of a lead. I think it'll be much tighter, especially with all the top teams like Arsenal, Man City, and Newcastle. That wasn't a typo or an accident. I did say top teams, and I did leave Spurs out. Make all the necessary transfers. I think it'll be much closer this time. They've gotten used to slot ball, and we'll see what happens.
All right. I'm just saying, PSG tried it, failed. Real Madrid
but PSG
tried it
with
failed.
Superstars like Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe. We don't have that type of divas in our team. We've seen already a little of that in the preseason, and it's worked out well. That's a preseason, but I think everything is looking good for a wonderful season. But things could happen in this season. But so far, what I've seen, it's looking great. The chefs in the kitchen are getting along fine. And if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. Go to Spurs.
But there's one more chef who thinks he's the head chef that might be coming for.
Yo, bro, you're talking to an ex-cook.
Big chef money.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, bro. Everyone knows their roles. Everyone knows that this is a team effort.
Listen,
there ain't no star.
There's a chef effort that's costing a lot of. He's stirring up the pot over in Newcastle.
Well, maybe it's not. If that happens, we will see what happens. But
maybe it's not even the chefs
are all aligned.
Maybe it's not. It's the restaurant manager who can't get it all together. Maybe he can't put them all where they need to be. Maybe he can't make them function the way they want to function. Maybe the pressure's getting too much. All right.
We'll find out in this season when things happen. Right now, the preseason is looking fine. There was fears about Dominic Szoboszlai because Florian Wirtz took over that position that he was going to be in, but he excels in that defensive position because now they're doing a 4-2-3-1, and Dominic Szoboszlai is actually excelling in that position, and that's what you want. You want competition.
In friendlies, though.
Yeah, it's friendlies. Well, like I said, but it's looking good so far.
Okay.
But
clip it.
We'll just have to wait for the season to start and see what happens. But I'm liking our depth. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far.
Of course, you spent almost $500 million. Of course, you like what you're seeing.
$500 million, bro. We know who didn't pass math class, but still, there we go. Your hot take
Liverpool's
I think everybody is going to be fine. Chemistry is good so far, and I think we'll do more than a Carabao Cup. We'll do more than Spurs for sure. You can clip that.
All right, next one. I'm going to bring this one forward.
I'll do this one. Gyökeres will flop.
Oh, okay.
Because, I mean, he did seem overweight a little bit, and there was that post from Sporting.
I guess we know who said that.
I heard refunds.
Someone called him.
I think he was the lowest rated player during that. But it's preseason, like you said, preseason.
Well, listen. People are making the biggest deal about his debut. He played 10 minutes. First time playing with Arsenal, 10 minutes.
Maybe that's all he had in him.
With that weight he's carrying around.
Someone calls him Gyökeres.
He actually looked pretty decent to me. I mean, he looked all right. But yeah, I mean, he's getting rated on 10 minutes when Odegaard wasn't even on the field. Saka wasn't even on the field. You had 15 and 16-year-olds on the field, and that's what they're rating him best of. This is just about getting minutes. No one was expecting him to score in 10 minutes.
The argument I've seen is that the defense he's gonna be facing in the Premier League is a lot different than what he faced over there in Portugal, where there's less space, there's be more
in the
pressure.
Portuguese league, how many
press
teams
is better.
are actually competitive?
What about in the Champions League?
Every team is competitive.
6 goals in 8 games in the
Champions League. You can't say Champions League because you're not playing the Premier League. Champions League and Premier League.
He played City. He played Arsenal, and he didn't score against Arsenal, but I do believe we have the best defense in the league.
Oh, there you go. Oh, okay. Yeah.
But he looked good. He hit the post. He hit the post twice. Like I said.
Oh yeah, and then when Darwin Nunez hits the post twice, it's a fail, right? There you go.
But
you can't.
But he's still the highest, one of the top 3 highest scorers in Europe, along with Mbappe and Salah. So I mean, like I said, it's still different. Listen, I'm not saying he's gonna be what he is at Sporting. I think he's gonna take some time to adjust. However, I do still think he's an upgrade on what we have had.
Obviously, an upgrade for sure.
Yeah, so I don't think he's gonna flop. I think he's gonna score at least 15 goals.
What do you think about the fact that Arteta says that Kai Havertz is the starter over him? That he's second behind Havertz.
I think it's okay to have a little competition. I think that's going to change. I think that's going to change.
Arteta mind
but like
games.
you said, that money they spent on him to be a backup, and then that's what you were discussing about.
We spent almost about the same on Havertz, and it's still less than you spent on Nunez. So what are we getting at here?
Tearing it up this preseason.
Preseason. We just talked about preseason not meaning anything.
Going, but whatever. We'll see what happens. But so
we'll
you're saying he's not going to be a flop. I mean, but this first season, it's not going to. What is your expectations for this first season with him?
I think if he scores 15 goals, I'll be happy. If he scores 20, I think that's right up there.
I don't think that's happening.
I don't think that's
a good season.
I don't even think 15.
I think he won't be a complete flop, but I think there's going to be a lot of people, Arsenal fans, second guessing what they did.
Okay.
Especially, no, I don't think Sesko would. I don't know. How mad would you be if Sesko starts ripping up the league? That would be great if Sesko
does join the Premier League, and then you have that comparison. Like, look at what Sesko's doing, and look at what.
Well, we don't need Sesko because Liverpool signed Ekitike, so we have our Bundesliga. Our sample A, sample B.
You guys were directly linked to both of them.
Like I said, I thought highly of Sesko. I think he's a fantastic scorer, and I think whoever he goes to, he's going to do well, especially because he's young. You can develop him, and he's tall too. He's got the aerial skills that actually Gyökeres doesn't.
Seen that clip.
Gyökeres doesn't have headers, so I think that's where he's a player that I feel like the fan base is kind of pushed for Arsenal to sign because we need goals right now, not goals in the future. So I do believe if he does come, he will do well.
I will say,
not better than Gyökeres, though.
Think the bar. I do think too that the bar is set real high for Gyökeres.
Yeah, it is.
That if he falls short of it, there's gonna be a lot of trash talk and a lot of flop talk because he didn't, fit the
meet the expectations.
The expectations that were set.
Everyone sets higher expectations for the player. You just got to be realistic.
But it's also the commotion that was made around him and like the bring him in. I think that set the bar real high because then if he doesn't meet those expectations, then you do look at him like, man, if he's average, it's going to be made. Even if he's above average, but he still doesn't meet those expectations, he's going to be looked at as below average because that
people, and that would be considered a flop because he's below average in a sense.
No, I don't think
everyone has a different opinion of what a flop is, but I mean, he does have a lot of expectation, a lot of hype on him. There you go. Yeah, exactly. I love Nunez, but it is true.
So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. I'm excited. We have one more preseason game tomorrow, actually, against Villarreal, I want to say. But we'll see if he gets more minutes. Like I said, he played 10 minutes with none of the starters on the field. So it was just about getting fitness back in.
Are you a little nervous?
No, I'm actually excited to have him because it looks like Gabriel Jesus is on his way back to Brazil.
Oh, yeah.
So even if he does swap back and forth with Havertz, I think he's still an upgrade on Jesus, who was injured. He's now considered an injury-prone player. It's still an upgrade to me. I'm happy. If he scores 10 goals, I'll be like, all right, cool. I'm sure next season he'll do better. But I think 15, in that 15 number. So I want to say maybe 12 to 17.
Want to bet? Put your money where your mouth.
All right. What's the next take that you were going to bring up?
All right. This one's actually not in favor of me, but I saw it and I wanted to get you guys' opinion. So The hot take was that Manchester United will win the league before Arsenal does. Obviously, this is not taken into consideration previous leagues because both of them have league titles. But from now on, they're saying that United,
not necessarily this season.
not necessarily this season.
No, it's not this season. It's just in general. Like
the
future,
quote actually said
who win one.
within the next 5 years, United will win the league and they'll win it before Arsenal.
When is their stadium supposed to be built?
The tent is up, I think.
The circus. When
I
is
think
Circus
that's
Olay?
what's it called? The tent for like debugging and everything for like what's it called?
The State Fair
Extermination.
tent. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I don't want to answer because then I'm going to praise the wrong team. That's how I plead the fifth.
Look,
just kidding.
I'll say I just think honestly I don't see any of them winning anything for the longest time. I just think it'll still be Manchester City in a way. I mean, until Pep leaves. But if I have to pick someone, I think it would probably be Arsenal because I think they're honestly just in a better place as a club at the moment. They have better players. There's more chemistry. There's a nice cohesion compared to what Manchester United have. We still don't know what Ruben Amorim's going to have. This is going to be his first season. Yeah. We'll see what he does with this first full season compared to what Arteta has. I think he has, like you said, it's a finished product. We'll see what happens. I think he has a better shot at winning something over Manchester United at the moment. But it ain't going to be as soon as you think.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I think I agree with Randy. I think
that's a first.
All right. The United is a lot further than what people think, and people assume that the new signings that they're bringing in isn't going to bring any more troubles or issues. They think that all problems are solved with these new signings, and I'll get into that in my next hot take. But I think there's still troubled waters for United, and then you bring in this, the debt that they're going to bring in for the stadium, and if they imagine they do get Sesko, I think the last bid was like 85 mil. I don't know if it was euros or pounds, but spending a lot of money, like. So if you don't get it right before you start the stadium, and we know from experience, your transfer windows coming up aren't going to be looking that great. You're going to be looking at your academy. You're going to be looking at players that you can get on loan. I don't want to say wash players, but you'll be sticking with a lot of these players for a long time.
Yeah.
So if they don't get it right before this stadium is built, I don't think they're going to be in a position that they're going to. I don't think we're going to be seeing the Man United of old anytime soon. So I think I'll lean more towards, let me take my Spurs hat off, but Arsenal coming in second or something like that, over United,
We're gonna have to change his voice on this one.
Man United is in a very deep hole at the moment, and I just think it's going to be very hard for them to get out of it. Arteta and Arsenal are on the high. They're in second 3 times.
Don't feed his head. Don't feed his ego, Randy. Stop.
We're gonna bring it down soon. When Gyökeres starts flopping, that's what.
No, but yeah, you're right. I think like you Pat's mentioned before, you're not losing that many players. You have your squad. Like Saliba's young. Gabriel might be he's old. He's not even that old.
Nah, but he's one of the leaders. Yeah.
Yeah. So like. You can see him departing, but I'm sure he'll be replaced. You signed a center back.
Yeah, Mosquera. Yeah.
So you see the cohesion there, the collective effort over the years to keep moving forward, and that's you haven't seen that from United. So
I'm gonna have to put that. When someone wants to be anonymous and they're like, it's just a silhouette, and then their voice is like, "Welcome." Yeah,
yeah, you gotta do that.
Wow, good. Yeah, cut this shit out.
AI myself somewhere else.
Put the mask on, right? So they don't know who it is.
Whoa, don't do that. Don't do that.
All right,
I'll feed it to him because they ain't gonna win shit this year.
It's like you remember the old Airhead commercials?
No.
All right, what's the next hot take?
Well, since we're on the United take or United talk, and we're on the flop talk, I don't think Mbeumo's gonna be a flop, but I don't think Mbeumo is going to be the same player as he was in Brentford. I think not that they got a dud, but he's not going to be impressive this season.
So what you're saying is it was the system that suited him.
It was the Thomas Frank system. It was Wisa. It was
the chemistry.
Damgard. It was how he was being fed in this club that set him up. And I don't think he's going to get the same opportunities in United. Maybe next season he will, but I don't think he will this season. I think Cunha might be a little bit of a hothead. I think he's going to have troubles. I think we're going to see his temper be an issue this season. You look at that midfield. Who's in that midfield? You got Bruno, right? But who else? Who else do you have in that midfield? You know, how are you going to feed
Mason Mount?
That's true. I haven't seen him in
if
years.
he can stay healthy, though, let's be honest.
He looked decent in the preseason games I saw.
Exactly, but that's that's not full intensity Premier League pace right there, and he has been injured.
I think the supporting cast isn't going to be there for him. So
Casemiro
we'll see with Casemiro, man.
That dude, what, he's going to jog him the ball?
Yeah, they're gonna start. I think it's hard for me because I feel like they were making the right moves in this transfer window. I think if they get Sesko, they will have exceeded their expectations. I think if they get Sesko with Cunha and Boma, I think they have overall improved in every single position.
Yeah, but
I just think that they were the safe players. Like I said, with Gyökeres, we were talking about it's a big question mark until the first game, until 10 games in. With Sesko, it's a question mark. With Ekitike, it's a question mark. Vert's not so much because you paid the money for it, but I think they're getting the safe players that that they can do the job, they can score the goals, they can create at a level that they've played in struggling teams. Brentford not so much of a struggle, but they're not necessarily a cash fueled club. So I feel like they've played it safe, and those were the right things to do in the position that they were. So I just don't think that the expectations are very high for Mbeumo at United. So
that's true.
Even if he doesn't do well, I don't think they're going to say it's a flop.
The price tag that you paid, in a way, is expectations. But I think that's where it might fit more the too many chefs in the kitchen. You got Cunha, like you said, who's temperamental. Bruno, he can be a certain way. I agree with you. I think that was a safe way going to a Premier League proven player, but I just honestly feel like his first season at Manchester United will be a struggle. You probably will say it would be a flop in a sense, but maybe the second season might be different, but I just don't see anything. I don't see him succeeding, honestly, in his first season at Manchester United. Like Alan said, there's the chemistry. He had everything at Brentford because he's been there for a while, and he had Wisa. They were like, they understood each other. Now you got to learn a new system you don't even know who you're going to play with, honestly. Who's going to be feeding you? Who's going to be in the midfielder? Who's going to be behind you? Who's going to be playing up front? I think that's a lot of question marks.
And imagine Ruben isn't winning. His job might be on the line, come December.
Yeah.
And imagine that. Imagine what that's going to do, Maybe it's not so much whoever did this hot take. I don't know who that was, but he's probably pretty smart. But I don't know if maybe it wasn't necessarily Mbeumo having a bad. Not that he had a bad season. I think he won't replicate what he did his last season.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just the United as a whole. Maybe I'm not confident yet, and that's that's a Spurs fans talking. Maybe I'm just not confident in that they're gonna mesh just yet. And it's kind of like the whole Liverpool situation, but maybe even worse.
Because they're already struggling.
Yeah. Because look at last year; they didn't improve at all, and they want to talk about injuries being an issue. I don't see where they have the right to talk about injuries compared to some other teams.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. So I got one more. I don't know, Randy, if you have another one.
Yeah, I would go with one. I know this is one that maybe hits a little close to home for someone, but do Spurs belong in the Champions League?
I think that's the last one. We're gonna end it there.
Yeah, and that's a good way to get.
That's we didn't bend the rules. We're not Forest who's trying to weasel their way into Europa League.
Wow,
because they're big old weasels.
Take it easy.
Freaking! rats over there.
Oh
USA.
my god.
USA.
Yeah, USA.
Sheesh.
Rub the ears a little bit. It helps calm down. But I mean, you
Wait.
do look at the table and you see 1, 2, 3 to
But it's not about that. It's not
Champions
about
League, and then all the way at
we didn't
17.
win it. It didn't matter. We did what we needed to do the year before that to get into Europa League. This season doesn't matter why we got into Europa, does it? No, it's what we did last season to get into Europa, and we got in it and we won it. There's no argument. There's no argument.
When you look at the position every other team has been in to get to Champions League, and then you see your position on the table.
But we did. Okay.
Yo,
and
what
did we do? We ended up first in the Europa League table.
This is a hot take right here.
Yeah,
it is, because this
is a hot take.
If it was any other team, it wouldn't be a question. Nobody would be like,
well, do you think United? What if they start saying, "Oh, well, United got to the final, so we're actually going to kick Crystal Palace out of Europe, and United will actually take their place because they got to the final, and that's a higher caliber."
If Crystal Palace gets kicked out, nobody should take their spot.
Well, they've already gotten demoted to what is it?
Yeah,
a Conference League.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Probably, yeah. You have no trouble saying that it's okay that they're getting demoted, even though they earned their spot.
On the other hand.
But you feel like you've earned the spot, so no one should take it away. No, it doesn't matter how terrible you did.
We won it.
Crystal Palace earned the right to be in Europa League.
They won a cup too. They won a cup too.
Why do they not? Why are they not in Europa Cup?
Because of the whole the club owning two teams.
They were supposed to do paperwork beforehand, and they didn't do it. And they're fighting it. So I didn't have anything to do with it. I'm not up there managing the paperwork
and fighting a Forest for Gibbs White.
Yeah, they're weasels and they're rats, and they shouldn't be in Europa League. That's besides the point.
So they shouldn't be in Europa League, but
what did they win to get into Europa League? Do you honestly think that Nottingham Forest should be in Europa League?
See, the thing about teams in their positions, right? Is it's not, you don't remember, Champions League isn't you have to be the champion of your country to get into Champions League. Is you have to do well enough throughout the season. It's not a knockout competition. You have to be consistent throughout the whole season to get into those spots. So do you think Tottenham was consistent enough throughout the season to get into a Champions League spot?
We won the Europa League. But that's always been
the main parameter is in the league. You found the back door, which was the Europa.
There you go.
Back door. The parameter is
it's not easy to win the Europa League. There's only one winner.
Yeah, but there's one winner, whatever. In the league, it's the parameter. You get first, second, third, and fourth. And if you're lucky, like England, you get 5 positions. Okay. But that's because, like Pat said, you're consistent, and England has been consistent.
So then let's not give anybody a Europa League spot. If you fail to win the Champions League, those are the guys that get Europa. Then why do we have Europa spots?
Do you think it would be better suited if they just got back into Europa League again because they won it? So they should be,
I don't make the rules. The rules were you go to Champions League.
Now he doesn't want to make the rules. But if it was another team around, if it was Arsenal winning the Europa, he's like, oh no, Arsenal should be. No,
I would say, hey,
okay. I'll give you another one. So you know how this past season that just finished, none of the Champions League teams dropped into the Europa League as they did in the past. This is why people find it a little controversial, because they thought that the lost a little bit of its caliber. So do you think it would be fair to say, all right, well, if you want to get you qualified to a qualifying game, so you have to beat PSG in order to get into Champions League, otherwise you're back into Europa League. Would you take that? Do you think you could earn your stay?
I don't get why we're trying to bend the rules now. I don't understand.
Well, they bend the rules.
The rules have changed. It's a new format, so it's a different manner.
Okay,
but yes,
so you want to bring out if you look back at the teams that were dropped down from Champions League to Europa, they didn't win the Europa League. It's been
there have been winners. United won it
once, but the majority is of the teams that were already in the Europa League, not the teams that dropped down. So that argument doesn't, to me, makes zero. There's no correlation. It still makes
it harder, because then the teams that beat the Champions League drops. That means that you've.
So why do they get to drop then? Why do they get a second chance?
Well, they get a second chance at a phony trophy.
Yeah.
Oh, see. We couldn't answer that.
See, I agree. I like that idea that if you're Europa winner, you get like a playoff position
Yeah,
And if you fail
into
that,
the
you get back
knockout.
into Europa,
Yeah.
which is, I think,
Take
fair.
it this way. If you when you're a World Cup winner or you're the hosting nation, you get into the World Cup
Automatically, yeah.
automatically. Maybe you get back into Europa League automatically. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Now
That's
the
if,
now
but
the
you
rule,
get the
but I
luxury
bet you,
pleasure of getting
but
a
I,
playoff spot to get into
just
Champions
because
League.
Arsenal lost the
but-
Europa League and Liverpool lost, you guys couldn't win it. Now you guys want to attack us.
We win bigger things. Why win that?
So then why are
win
you
a fake
worried
title?
about it?
This
Then
is
why are you worried about Spurs? You guys are threatened by Spurs in the Champions League.
Listen,
No,
Just
we're not.
admit it.
Wait till we hear predictions, and we'll see what your predictions
All
are.
right.
And wait till we get into Champions League, our edition, to see what happens.
This was a
There's nothing to be
listener.
scared about.
This was a
Spurs.
listener submitted hot take, so we're
Yes,
not
exactly. And we see whose blood got boiled.
I can
Because
see
it's been an ongoing
You want
argument.
me to put some water on you? Let me put some
No.
beer on top of you, cool
It's,
down, bro.
Oh, now that Tottenham won it, it's like, oh, you know what? The rules don't make sense. Well, okay, whatever. That's bullshit. Because if Arsenal would have won it, they're like, well, we deserve it because we're almost finished product. Blah blah blah.
I would feel like, I mean,
No, you
yeah,
wouldn't.
the rules are rules. I would say rules are rules, but I would still feel like, damn it, I wanted to win it like earning. You know what I mean? I would still feel.
No, you
a little
wouldn't.
bit-
That's
Nah,
bullshit.
I would.
I
would.
That's BS. That is BS.
I mean, the thing is, it's just a weird situation because the position you are on the table, 17th place,
But then
and
again,
then to win the Europa League and then qualify for Champions League,
We
it's just
did it
a weird
through-
look.
we
That's
did it with
No, yes,
with
you did it, but
injury
it's just
crisis, right?
Looking at
We had to
looking
play
at
it
from
smart. We were
outside.
playing chess. Everybody else was playing checkers. We played chess. We didn't have the opportunity to compete at all fronts. So
You
guess
mean
what
an
we
own goal?
did? We started prioritizing the Europa League because we knew we couldn't compete on both. And what's so bad about that?
But
You
Levy
went for
wants
the
to compete
easier
on both.
competition on a team that should be playing at a higher caliber. But I was gonna say, like, I just think the reason why people see it this way is because you only won it when it was considered now it's easier competition to play because you don't get the dropouts. So I'm not gonna say it's easy to win a trophy. I'm not gonna say you didn't earn it because the rules, like you
That's
said,
what you
rules are
said.
rules. But I think
rules are rules. These
I
are
think
new
people
rules.
question it because of not only because it's all of a sudden different, but also because of how you did in the league. And I think people question that if you finished like 5th or 4th and won it, people would be like, oh yeah, well they probably would have won it anyway. You know what I mean? But
the
there's
position
the
on the
question
table-
mark. It shows that could have been luck. It was an own goal.
I mean, if the
technically.
drop would have happened, it would have been Manchester City in Europa, and let's be honest, they would have took it. It's
Say
all
that
those
again?
teams that would have been dropped down. I don't think Spurs would have taken it. I don't know how Manchester United got to there. Honestly, even Spurs, how you got to the finals. Well, was it Bobo Glint, whatever? Lord of the Rings, Frodo. I don't know, Baggins, but whatever. But you won. It's fine. Rules are rules, but it's just a weird look winning Europa and coming in 17th place in the
When do you think the
table.
last team that was dropped down won the
Was it? It wasn't United, was it?
no Atletico Madrid
Okay.
like
No, they
10
didn't
years
win
ago, and then Seville? It's not even that common. It's if it was that much every year, the dropouts would have won it. If the argument you're trying to make is
But
valid,
those
but it's
teams,
not.
you still have to beat those teams. So I'm saying
They got
along the
beat.
way,
Maybe, who knows? We
along the
would've beat
way,
them.
the competition is harder. So I'm not saying,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm not saying those teams that did when it didn't
So
deserve
you
it.
want second chance if you fail to win the FA, you get knocked out of the FA. Yeah, you should go. You have another shot in the Carabao.
Well, let's say this: what if United had won the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup, and they lost in the Europa League to Tottenham, but they said, "Oh well, United finished higher, so we're actually going to give your spot to United." How would you feel? You feel like that's fair?
I couldn't follow that.
Okay, so let's say you won, you beat United in the Europa final,
Europa
right?
final.
Uh-huh.
But United won the FA Cup instead. Let's say they won the FA Cup. So then they're like, oh, well, we only have one spot. So we're actually going to give it to United because they finished higher.
We would be in Champions League.
But no, what if they said, oh, we know, but, you know.
Those spots are already allocated. Those spots are already there.
I know, but things are changing now. Look at Crystal
they
Things
haven't
are
changed that
changing.
way.
Things change.
I think it's just a bunch of haters that Arsenal's mad that we won a trophy before them. Liver's scared. They're
What do you
shaking
mean
their boots.
before us?
that we're
We haven't
coming out.
plenty
There's nothing to be
trophies.
scared of from a team that finished 17th place. What is there to be scared of?
Are
Frank the Tank
Liverpool?
is going to get stuck in the mud, and then we're just going to go
For being
around
one of the
it.
best
Easy.
teams in the league, that you couldn't win anything outside of domestics. So we saw you in this. We were in the semi.
What?
He
Oh,
got
now
so
his mic
mad.
cut out. Well, he's lucky his mic
Oh,
cut
man.
out. Oh, there you go. I think that's him calling it quits on this hot take because it's too much for him to handle.
What was I saying first?
When you were crying?
That's what it was.
No.
When you were crying?
You needed a break to wipe your tears. 'cause
All I'm
we're
saying
speaking
is
facts.
a bunch of haters. No, like I said, we did what we needed to do the year before. We did
But
what
do
we
you
did.
deserve it?
Yes, we deserve it. We deserve to be there.
That's one.
We all
that's
have
your
our opinion.
Oh, okay,
We
so you
all have
guys
your
make up the
opinion.
rules. Okay,
Guys,
sorry.
Let us know in the comments what you think. Do Spurs deserve it?
UEFA
Yeah.
councilman, I'm sorry. We don't live up to
You're
your
welcome.
standards.
Yeah.
All right. And that's an episode. Thank you so much for joining us here on Rivals on the Pitch. Follow us on Instagram, Rivals on the Pitch. Watch our videos, every new episode once a week on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Yeah, we got plenty of content out now on TikTok as well. Watch our reels and comment. Let us know what you want to talk about. Give us your hot takes that you want us to discuss. That's it. I'm Pat.
I'm Randy,
Hot take: Spurs win the league before Arsenal, and I'm Alan.
and he's angry. He's angry.
Yeah,
That's
all
who he
they-
is.
Koi, 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 koi. See you.